Hope everyone is doing very well this evening. I did have a special guest for tonight. Was supposed to be our dear friend and mod, Erica, but unfortunately, something came up last minute and she's not able to make it. So we're going to just move on without a special guest. And so I'm making this live into a open mic night in regards to the immigration topic. We were discussing that last night with some of the guests that we had here on the panel. Last night we were talking to an independent voter. And so eventually the conversation turned into or evolved to the immigration crisis that we have right now at the southern border. Fish is saying hello. Hello, Fish. Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please tap the live and share it if you can with a friend so that more people can join the conversation. So last night was a very interesting conversation we had with the independent voter. And so eventually we had a panel for those that missed it. And the conversation, or someone asked something about the migrant crisis, and everyone was giving their 2 cents about what's happening right now. And so that's where we left off. And again, tonight was supposed to be migrant crisis in America with our good friend Erica, Texas, as a special guest. But unfortunately, something came up last minute, so she's unable to make it. So that's okay. We'll just keep the show as an open mic for this evening. Kitty saying, good evening to you. Roxanne is saying, no crisis. Border Patrol working like usual. Roxanne, where are you getting that information from? I would like to know. That was a very interesting comment right there. By the way, guys, if you do want to join the conversation, please feel free to do so. Tap the live and share it if you can so that we can have more people joining the conversation. We'll be open mic tonight, okay? Anybody that wants to join, whether you're for or against, I would like to hear from you so we can have an open discussion here tonight for this live. This live probably won't be that long anyway, by the way, so we'll see what happens. Nuck is saying it's not a crisis. Otherwise, House GOP members would actually be doing something about it. They're trying, but the Democrats want to put Ukraine first and Israel first. But you probably wouldn't know about that. Fish is saying even the White House says the border is broken. Yep. Nuck is saying they're not trying. Nuck, you can join the conversation if you want to have an open discussion here. Hey, maybe you're right. Maybe you can show us some proof. He's saying Texas congressman said he won't do anything about the border. He's from Texas. Right. You got to put context to that. The way you make it sound there, I don't trust that. I don't trust that comment the way it is. You got to put context to everything. I did go over the border bill that the Democrats are trying to pass, and it's just a shame of a bill. It should never be passed the way it is. Again, the Democrats love to put border security on the bill as the title of it, or at least that's what they project. But when you really look into what they're promoting or what they want to put in the bill, it's just a complete disgrace. Charm is saying, I find it alarming how many people think there's no crisis. Yeah, well, we have one in the comment section already. He's in complete denial, clearly. But yeah, we do have a lot of those. Paul is saying, not just in the South, how about the North? We don't have the influx. I hear this a lot, by the way, usually from the Democrats. Whoa, why don't we stress out about the North side of the border? Because we don't have that type of influx. that we have at the southern border. I mean, it's just common sense. Yeah, I'm not saying that we don't have a similar type of problem over there, but it's not that amount of people all at once. It's just like this is the comparison. It's like where are you getting this information from? I do want to go over some of the latest updates here. And this has been, by the way, you can find this on Google. There's a lot of news reporting this. So Supreme Court sides with Biden administration in Texas border razor wire case. And then it continues, says the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 vote, granted the Biden administration request to vacate the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals injunction in a case involving razor wire placed along Texas border with Mexico. And so the Supreme Court here is siding with Biden and continues. It says Texas has maintained that it needs to act on the border because the federal government has failed to stem the tide of migrants crossing from Mexico. Governor Greg Abbott launched a controversial state-led border security effort called Operation Lone Star in 2021. Since then, Texas has installed razor wire, a floating barrier in the Rio Grande, and added thousands of Texas state troopers and National Guard soldiers to patrol parts of the state's, which is around 1,200-mile long border with Mexico. Yeah, so Megan is saying, yes, Texas will stand strong against this treason. They're trying, but, I know they won temporarily, they won that claim of the buoys, the border barrier there, but now they lost on this one with the razor wire. So it's a back and forth. It seems to be complex, which it shouldn't be, but the Biden administration continues to take them to court to fight Texas attempts to protect its border. And it's a true shame that this is happening, because we know that if Biden or this administration was not in power, this wouldn't be happening. Let's see here. We have Knox saying, and if you knew anything, nearly 3/4 of Ukraine's support is actually spent in the U.S. And GOP senators have said publicly that this deal is the best deal possible. Yeah, and I've criticized whoever supports a bill like that, where Ukraine is getting most of the money. Is just a shame. It's a shame that we're getting the breadcrumbs of this bill. So if you knew anything, you would put America first, not last. Cena Girl saying, hi, Vega. Hello there. Yeah, let's go over that bill again. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. I know I've reported on this before. Let's see if I can find an article here. I mean, I'm sure they're going to approve something for it, because we do love to spend money in military, right? We love doing that. Let's see. Right, so this is per, what's this? Oh, yeah. VOA News. So Biden asks for $60 billion. The United States has dedicated more than $100 billion to arming and supporting Ukraine since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022. And President Joe Biden has asked Congress to approve another $60 billion. Republicans in Congress have become increasingly skeptical about the need to continue underwriting Ukraine's defense. So yeah, there you go. That's what they're pushing for. That's their main agenda, to send more money to Ukraine. Well, we have a complete crisis at the border, and the Democrats clearly don't give a you-know-what about it. Norma is saying hello, Vega. Hello, Norma. Welcome. Yeah, so then it continues. The Pentagon announced on December 7th a new $250 million security assistance package for Ukraine. Look at that. How beautiful. $250 million package that included additional munitions for surface to air missile systems, artillery, blah, 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 blah. The Pentagon still has $4 billion available to provide Ukraine with military aid, but no funds are available to replenish the U.S. military stockpiles. Unreal. So Republicans set conditions for approving aid. Republicans in the Senate have conditioned approval of any additional money for Ukraine on the simultaneous strengthening of immigration rules aimed at reducing the number of people illegally entering the United States at its southern border and expelling some who are already in the country. Brian is saying, I love your videos. Keep the great work. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate it. Lucy is saying, why do you care so much about immigrants? I'm an immigrant, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you referring to the migrants coming through the southern border with most of them invalid asylum cases that are taking advantage of the shelter system and the benefit system in the country? Is that what you're talking about? I don't consider those immigrants, by the way. Immigrants are ones that come here the right way to work hard, not to ask for handouts. So that's a huge difference there. Don't put us in that pocket. Those are not immigrants, in my opinion. Okay, so according to multiple news organizations, an estimated 300,000 people crossed the US Mexico border in December 2023. That estimate marks the highest ever recorded number of US Mexico border crossings. So that goes for Knock, who's saying there that we don't have a crisis. That is the highest number recorded. Lucy's saying that you come the right way. Yes, I did. I was vetted. Just like many of us that came the right way. Health records were vetted, criminal background checks, financial status was vetted. Hopefully saying, I love your lives, Vega. Thank you so much. Hopefully I love you for being here. So yes, there's this notion that the left loves to put on all of us, the typical identity politics, right? Oh, you're an immigrant. How can you be against all the other immigrants? No. I'm an immigrant that came the right way, just like many immigrants that came here the right way. We paid our fees, we went through the process, and by the way, when we entered and we came here, we didn't overwhelm the shelter system in the country. Okay, it's a huge difference, huge difference. So don't put us in that pocket, saying that. So in your head, you think that all immigrants cross the border. That's what you think? Because that's pretty racist, by the way, if that's what you think. So completely wrong on that notion, if that answers your question. Liz is saying, did you see in New York, they took over a trailer and the guy can't kick them out because they're protected? No, I didn't see that, Liz. If you can send me the name of the headline, I will read it for everyone here. No, I didn't see that. I tried to keep up with all the news, but there's so many of them. It's like really hard to report on all of them. It's really hard. Rod said, you're all the same, bro. Well, typical racist comment right there, guys. From a Democrat, I'm sure. Fish is saying, Vega, we are happy you're here. Thank you, Fish. I'm happy you're here. Yeah, those are racist comments from usually Democrats who love to do that, identity politics. Chris is saying, love what you're doing, my friend. Keep up the good fight. Thank you so much. Fug is saying, the left has sold us out. They want a civil war, but deny it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of theories into what they want, but it's a true shame what's happening. Thank you. Hopefully, I appreciate it. Memoir is saying in the comment section, my brother had to pay for his whole family from Haiti to get here the right way. 10K pop. Yeah. And I believe you. I believe you because I've sponsored immigrants. I've sponsored immigrants under my name as a citizen. which are family members that I know their background, and they're also able to prove their criminal background records to immigration because they asked for it. Thank you, hopefully, and thank you, Liz. And they paid a lot of money. Thank you, Chris. A lot of money. I mean, immigration charges a lot of money in most cases, and it tends to take a little while for them to get here. By the way, I still have some that are waiting still, and we have no answer as to when they'll be able to come here the right way. So it is a process nonetheless. Don is saying legal immigration is for immigrants' benefits. It makes sure they can make it on their own. Yes, if you're referring to the financial status vetting system, that is correct. They want you to prove to them that you are not going to be a burden to the state. And that's why I'm talking about the huge difference here. Christian is saying, how funny, you passed me up. I'm not sure what you're talking about, that I passed you up. How ironic that I got ignored. I didn't see your comment. I'm getting a lot of comments, so you can join the conversation, by the way. It's open mic night, so if you feel you're being ignored, you can jump in. I'll accept, and we can have a discussion. I'm not ignoring anyone. It's a lot of comments here. Liz is saying it's not the same. My husband was born in Mexico. He did things the right way. He paid big money for it. Yeah, absolutely. It's not the same for everyone. Unless, of course, you're a migrant and then you're coming across the border, and then you can claim asylum and you enter for free. And now they are expecting the government to give them work permits for free as well, by the way. And some Democrats are pushing for the notion of allowing them, even if they don't qualify for work permits, to be given work permits. So they created this crisis, they created this nightmare, and now they're saying, well, they can't work because they don't have work permits. Well, because they're not qualified to get work permits in the first place. But now they're saying, well, they don't qualify for work permits, so we need to give them work permits now so they can start working. I mean, the whole thing is upside down. Mm-hmm. I want to welcome JR to the panel. He sent a request. Hello, JR. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
I'm pretty good, bro. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
That's good. So I tend to stay off the guys. I argue with a lot of people. It's not worth it. But one thing that caught my attention when I was scrolling was you had said something about a Spanish lady. I don't want to say Mexican because that seems racist to some people, but a Spanish lady that said her husband had come here the right way. I've got plenty of Spanish people that come here the right way. Plenty of good Spanish people that work hard and pay their dues and do this country good. But here's the thing. I was just watching another live not long ago. It's not Spanish people coming across the border. You know what I mean? When it was Spanish people coming across the border out of Mexico, Guatemala, and all that them other countries down around there, it was what it was. For the most part.
Wait, you're saying that right now, Hispanic people are not coming through the border? Is that what you're saying?
Excuse me?
Can you repeat what you said? You said that Hispanics are not coming through the border?
Well, there probably is Hispanics, but the border is not being ran the way it is right now for the Hispanics. And when it was just the Hispanics, you know what I mean? So we've always had the issue with the Hispanics, always when they come across the border. I've got a lot of Hispanic friends, illegal and legal, you know what I mean? And I never really had a problem with them because you got 70 to 80% rate of them guys that were coming here and they were working and doing right. They were sending money.
So what you're trying to say is that there's a mix right now of Hispanics plus people from Africa, Europe, Asia. Is that what you're trying to say?
There's some fucked up shit coming across the border. Like there's this terrorist, this Islam terrorist that just got out of prison January 19th. Today is what, the 23rd? This motherfucker.
Yes, it is the 23rd.
Videos. This dude's already making videos on United States property. Oh, you're not smart enough to know who I am, but soon you will know who I am. But soon you will
Yes, I
know.
saw that video, and actually I
Yeah,
posted it on my page.
yeah. See,
E-Boys in the comment section is saying, how about the Canadian border? Again, I
the
answered this
Canadian, there's
comment
no
earlier
problem
too.
with the
We don't
Canadian
have the
border.
amount of influx that we have at the northern border with the southern border. I mean, just come to reality, dude. Like, come back to earth, you know?
Yeah, there's no problem at the
So
Canadian
it's
border.
it's so typical from the Democrats. Oh, why don't you complain about the Canadian border? Because we don't have that type of influx.
Yeah,
It's like, what are you? Where are you getting your information from? Jr. Look, yeah, I mean, do I believe that some terrorists have already crossed? I mean, some have been caught already, and I'm sure others probably made it through. We just don't have the data to know exactly how many. And there is a mix,
I think
absolutely.
we do. I think we do. Not to interrupt you. I think we
Yeah.
do have the data, but it's not being released to us.
Yeah, but
Border
remember that
patrol
I
knows
believe
something
is over
about this.
1.5 million gotaways, right? That they were
Border,
able to sort of count via cameras and sensors that they were not able to process. So within those 1.5 million gotaways, we don't know how many of them are here to do harm.
well, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. So, along with the other lab that I was listening to, where the Hispanic dude was talking, and then I know TikTok ain't reliable, but I was listening to him, and it all made sense. Um, he was telling me where, so he has Hispanic people, of course, in Mexico that live there. You know what I mean? That I don't know how if you guys know how it works, but like those guys come over here and make some money, and out of the money they make, they take some of it to live on, and they send a lot back there. Well, the money they send back there is actually a good bit for them. So anyhow, he had a person, like the Mexican on the other side of the border that was communicating with him, and he's telling him, dude, look, out of every 10, 12
Thank you,
men
Liz.
between 18 to 20, you've got one girl, one female, and maybe three kids. So, that's my thing. I've been watching it since day
Are
one.
you talking about those that come with kids and then they get the
All
assistance?
right, so from what I was gathering from him was
Who's him, by the way, just for
the
context?
guy, the Hispanic dude that was on the live that I was listening to earlier. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. You were on another live.
Nah, I don't get on. I try not to get on live, dude, because I fight and argue, dude. I get so fucking mad. It's not funny. But yeah, they got nothing to do
I
with
get
fun.
you.
It just got to do with what the fuck's wrong with you, people? What's wrong
So
with you?
wait, so you were on another live, and what happened? Was it
I
the
was
host that was saying what was the host saying?
I was listening to another lab, and it wasn't a host. It was the dude on the other lab, and he was breaking it down to him. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, this dude is pretty legit. He knows,
Thank you, Liz.
excuse me.
No, we're just thanking Liz in the comment section. Yeah, go ahead.
He's pretty legit. He knows what he's talking about. They, they made him. They were liberals, and they checked him out. Well, not checked him out, but they made him sound like, listen to what he's saying because he's upstanding. He's listening. Listen to what he's saying. So anyhow, he was telling us how he's got people on the other side of Mexico, family. And they were communicating with him, telling him, "Hey, look, what's coming through the border isn't what you guys think it is." You know what I mean? Like they're there's women and children coming across. There is women and children, but there's like one woman, three children to every 10, 12, or 10, 12, 13. You're 13 men that are ranging from 18 to 25, 26 years old. See what I'm saying? So like somehow or another, and in the beginning, so I've been watching this whole thing. In the beginning, it wasn't nothing but miles of military age men, Chinese men that were 6 foot tall. I don't know if you remember all that. Well, 5'5", 6 foot. You know what I mean? It's pretty big for a Chinaman.
Yeah, I mean, JR, I'm not sure if you follow me or not, but I report on this a lot. And yes, everything you're talking about, I've actually posted on my account.
Yeah,
Military
see,
aged man, Asians, Africans, absolutely. I wasn't just referring to Hispanics coming here. I was just saying that what we've seen more of when it comes to the entitlement mentality and seeking benefits, you're seeing most Hispanics right now. You are seeing some Africans as well, absolutely. But yes, we did have Asians coming in as well. And we did have now we're seeing some Middle Easterns coming in, right? But you haven't seen them overwhelming the shelter system and complaining about what food they're getting. And no, I wonder where those individuals went. You know what I'm saying? Because they're sort of we saw them, some of these a lot of Asian people entering the U.S. and then I really haven't heard the media report on those. Where did they go? Did they have someone waiting here for them? So yeah, a lot of questions, no doubt about it, and concerning questions because it's like, what is happening? Yeah, you're right. Military aged men. Absolutely. We are able to see the migrants, like you said, those that have children and they're getting the assistance because either they're pregnant or they have kids already. And so we're seeing them, at the shelter because they don't even hide, by the way. They have like TikTok accounts and they post stuff themselves too. But then there's the other side of it, which is the safety side of it, which is we don't know where the others are. Most of these military aged men, where do they go from these other nations? We haven't seen a lot of reporting on that.
That's what I'm more worried about. So the system, and as far as entitlement or welfare benefits, this system has been getting worked for years. There's plenty of people that get assistance and work and all that and all that. It's not right, but fuck it. I care less about that than I do about where these other people go, where they at.
Right. So JR, you're saying is that you get the fact that we do have an issue with the welfare system, right, when it comes to the migrant situation right now. But your main concern is the safety aspect of the migrant crisis right now. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I even worked the system myself at times too, but the system thing. So
and so have many Americans, by the way. Which that's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is, if you have already a system that's in trouble, why would you bring more trouble from, international trouble? Like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
They're trying to do a takeover. Here's the next thing that's going to happen. Here's the next thing that's going to happen, man. I've been listening, watching and shit. I think the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to try to send our military to Israel or some other fucking country and leave our arms down. And then that's when all these other immigrants that aren't working the system, the ones that we're talking about that just disappeared, that's when they're going to start their shit. You know what I mean? I'm in West Virginia. I'm an old country boy. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? But that's my theory on that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm most of the Spanish people that are here trying to work the system and all that. They'll work too. You know what I mean? You might have Jose with Maria that's got 10 kids, and Maria and the 10 kids are working the system, and Jose's out there making money too. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? I care less about that, to be honest. But like the Nigerians, the terrorist dude, rest of them other people from the more fucked up other countries.
So you're saying those countries that are known to be not too friendly to the U.S., that's what you're worried about the most.
Third world countries. And Mexico isn't really a third world country. They're poor, but they're
right.
Third world.
I mean, when it comes to, of course, third world countries, no doubt about it. But you're saying that you're more concerned about the safety aspect when it comes to maybe terrorists can or have already probably entered the country, right? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. By the way, just for context, guys, this is all intended for entertainment purposes only, and pure speculation. I do want to welcome Jeff to the panel. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, what's up? Hey, look, bro. I just got pizza delivered, and I gotta go to the
job. Go ahead, JR. No worries. Go ahead. You're very welcome to come back. Thank you.
This is the first live that I've actually had conversations and not sat and screamed, yelled, and argued and pissed people off, man. You have a good night. I'm gonna follow you too.
Follow me, yes. My lives are like this. We have open conversations with respect. Anyone that doesn't follow those rules, I'm gonna kick them out. Thank you, JR. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Listen, I just want to give you a couple thoughts on the topics of the border, immigrants, so forth, so on. Okay. Look, I think immigrants, and I believe all immigrants should be welcome. Okay. There's no problem with that. Okay. But I believe that what's hurting us is not the immigrants that are coming through the proper way. What's hurting us and why it's hurting us with all these immigrants that are coming through illegally and us accepting that is that growing up, if you have kids or family, you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else, right? You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else, right? My problem is that we have our homeless veterans and our homeless and those with addictions that are not getting any help. Okay. And then I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying just in general that we have our homeless, our addicted, and our veterans that are already here, United States citizens, that we're not helping them. Okay, immigrants coming in, it's a good thing. They want to come in and rebuild their lives, but when we can't help ourselves, how can we help them? You know,
So, Jeff, you said that you're okay with immigrants coming the right way, but you're not okay with migrants coming the wrong way. Can you specify why you're not okay with migrants coming the wrong way? Thank you, TKO.
because with them coming in the wrong way, there's so many coming in. Okay, picture if you're, and I'm just going to give a couple examples. Okay, all right, a submarine. Submarine can only go so deep, right, before it implodes. Okay, how many people can we get? Can we keep bringing in when we can't continue to feed our own? So
Thank you, Courtney.
not only do we can we not feed our own, or are we struggling? Now the people that are struggling are going to struggle more because the immigrants that are getting in are getting free money, free medical, free this, and I'm not saying all of them, okay, because that would be a stereotype. I'm saying there are many of them that are, and that's factual. Um, and, I'm a people person. I care about everybody. I think everybody. I want everybody to have a good life, but I can't. You know, just because I care about everybody and I want everybody to help everybody doesn't mean that I can't take the food from my own kids or from my own people or for the people that are here already and feed somebody else. It's not fair. So if Johnny comes in through the border the correct way, he's fingerprinted, he's documented, whatever. Okay, and his background is checked. I know that if Johnny moves in on my block, that Johnny's safe and he's here to become a citizen and do good things. Okay, and I'm sure a
You
lot of
feel
the
safer because he was vetted.
well,
He
yeah,
was vetted
because
properly.
correct. So it would be like me
Right.
if I come up and just talk to you and you're like, well, who the hell's this guy? Or if I come up and say, hey, my name's Jeff, and I shake your hands. I'm the new guy on the block. I just came into the United States. You know what I mean? So there's certain ways that things should be done that make it to where people don't panic. The problem is like what's going on with Texas. Okay, a lot of people in Texas have had over the years and years and years. Okay, and not everybody, but people coming across their backyards through their front yards, literally, and they don't know who they are. They don't know who. So how can you feel safe? If you don't know who these people are coming through your block. Come to your block, come to your neighborhood, come into your dinner table. You're not
By the
going.
way, shout out to Texas. I mean, they're fighting the good fight over there. Shout out to them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And there. So I was just in a live, or just was trying to get into a live, but I couldn't get into it. They were talking about that, and the guys were saying, "Oh, well, Texas has no right. It's not their law to do so." Well, how long can you stand by and watch things happen in front, and you have no control over it? Let's just say I don't know if this is a big example. Say you live in a corner house property. Okay, you live by a school here in the United States, and every day there's a fight on your front lawn, and you call the cops and you call the people, and eventually nothing happens. Eventually, you're going to take it into your own hands, and that's what Texas is doing. So I don't downgrade them for that. I really think. that what they're
No, of
doing.
course not. I mean,
Yeah,
they're being completely left alone by the federal government, so they have to take action.
right.
You know, and it's like you said. I mean, I heard your point about the safety concern, but once again, you also mentioned, you had this submarine analogy, right? That we can't take
Right.
any more, and that's correct. Our system, or we have already poverty and a homeless problem in the country. So why would it make sense to bring international poverty?
Well, let me
And I
give
think
you.
somebody, one of my likes were like, oh, don't bring the poor people, trying to be like sarcastic, like as if I'm against poor people. It's not that. It's that we already have poverty in the country.
Well, I
So
can
now,
give you an
if we were able
example.
to eradicate poverty in the country and you want to help international poverty at a controlled and balanced level, that would be a different conversation.
Yes,
But you
that's
cannot just throw all this bunch of people that have, low scales. Unfortunately, it's the truth, and they're unable to get good jobs. What do you think is going to happen?
well. I'll give you an example. Just about 5, 6 years ago. Okay, I'm in Florida. I've been in Florida since 2008. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. Okay. Myself, my girlfriend, and our family, we had moved we had a slum landlord, so we moved out of a place. We went to a hotel. We had the money to get a new place, but we couldn't. How long did it take us to find a place? We were in a hotel for what's that? 61 days. We were in a hotel. 61 days we were in a hotel because we couldn't find a place. There was no places that we could find for rent, or there was no places that we could find to move into. So if we
And
had,
this was where in Florida, you said,
yes, sir, yes, sir,
and and why you couldn't find a place?
because there wasn't any places. They were all taken. So if
Like you mean like an apartment to rent or a home
yeah,
to rent
an
or
apartment or a home to rent, we couldn't find either for 61
really?
days. Yes,
When
sir.
was this?
This was what's it? Uh, when 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. And
Wow,
and it wasn't
is it
just
that
us.
crowded over there?
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, it is. It really is. And it
Wow, I
wasn't just
wasn't
us.
aware of that.
There was other families too that had money to get into a place.
By the way, I don't want to cut you off, but I almost moved to Florida. I'm glad if that's true. I'm glad I didn't. CM is saying in the comment section, I'm in Florida and this is happening now. So she is actually validating what you said,
Yeah,
Jeff. Go ahead.
and it's sad. It's scary because you guys know how much a hotel is. You know, it's a lot more than rent.
So you were there for 60 days or 2 months?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
61 days exactly. And the hotel people, we got to know them. The hotel people, they treated us like family because they knew that we didn't have to be there. We were stuck there, you know. And 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 I'd like to give a shout out to was it the Sleep In to the. I'd love to give a shout out to the Sleep In in Leesburg because they were the ones that they treated us like family. And like I said, we weren't the only ones. There were other families there that were looking for places that couldn't find places. And it was many a nights of topic of conversation. So we met a lot of people, became friends with a lot of people for the 61 days we were there. So that's just a prime example. That's just what's going on in Florida. Now you bring, you know,
By the way, do you live in Florida now?
yes, sir. Yeah, I'm in
You live there, okay.
Wildwood, Florida, Sumter
But I'm
County.
still in shock. You're saying that you couldn't find an apartment to rent in 2 months? Maybe was it just in that town specifically?
No, it was we went from staying in Leesburg to look for a place in Leesburg. Couldn't find. We looked in Leesburg, we looked in Wildwood, we looked in Lake County, Sumter County, and you couldn't find places. Now, in the meanwhile, while this is going on, if anybody has heard of the villages were being built, you know, and took over a large part of Leesburg and Lake County. And you know for the older people and all, and then people who could afford all the new housing and stuff. But at the time, I couldn't buy a house, but we could afford living in a place. Yeah, it was tough. It was real tough. It was me. It was four of us in a hotel room with our cats, three cats. I mean, and we had to pay extra for the cats. So now
Wow.
it was crazy. But
I like you already, by the way, because I have two little kitties.
oh yeah, we
They
got
are fun.
They're they all have personalities. Let me tell you. But
Strong personalities, may I
absolutely,
add.
absolutely. But even saying within what happened to us, that's just an example here in this area of Florida that we were having, and other people were having problems, and the lady who said that that's going on right now. So take that example here. Now spread that throughout the states, and with the illegals, God bless their souls, coming in, whether it's for asylum or forever, you're now jamming that many more people. You can only park one car in a space. You can't park one car, three cars in one space, and that's what's going on. So, I wish the best.
Yeah, I'm in shock, by the way, about what you said about Florida. I didn't hear about that before.
Oh, Florida's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
No, it is. But the 2 months, that's like, wow. What part of Florida is this, by the way?
This was Leesburg, Florida, which was in Lake County.
Lake County. Okay,
Yeah, and
got it.
but the other thing is too, what I am seeing more of, and I don't think this is a stereotype. I'm pretty sure this is on point. What I am seeing is I was just driving through Jacksonville. My son lives in Jacksonville, Florida,
Yeah,
and I go there 3 hours up, 3 hours back to get them. I'm seeing a lot more immigrants on the middle of the streets with signs asking for help.
interesting.
Yeah,
And wow, just because Florida is not a sanctuary state, so I know, aren't they trying to bust them from there too? By the way, I heard some stories about that
I'm
too, but I
not. I'm
wasn't,
not sure. I've heard a couple different things. Of
because Governor DeSantis has been pretty tough on this situation.
yeah. I'm not really perfectly up to date on that
Yeah,
as far as where they're busing, but I have heard New York. I've heard California. I've heard Ohio. Um, but as I haven't heard of Florida. But what I'm seeing, it could be. So,
yeah. I'm seeing a lot people in the comment section talking about Alicia, that she is very incorrect into what she's saying. I'm not sure what she's saying in the comment section, but if she wants to join the conversation, feel free. I think she has an opposing view to what you're saying, Jeff.
okay.
So, Jeff, have you seen, by the way, how these sanctuary cities are being overwhelmed right now?
I haven't perfectly seen it. I've heard about it. I've heard many conversations about it, and I'm torn. It tears me apart because like I said, on the one side of me, they deserve a shot, they deserve a chance, but you know, uh, we had to come for those of us like my grandmother came from Ireland, and which way before I was born, but she had to come through the proper way and the proper channels, in order to come here and start, our
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
So, I don't think it's unfair to have.
So, what concerns you the most? Is it the safety aspect of it, like you said, where anybody can come in and maybe even be in your neighborhood already, or the the fact that we are using all these funds to sustain some of these migrants that will eventually, by the way, they've stated they want to go back in a couple of years. They just want to make some money and go back. So it's
Right.
like a
They
waste of
want to make
money.
money and take care of their
So
families.
what concerns you the most?
It's not them coming in and making money. They deserve to come in and work if they want to, and work for their
But not
money.
that way. I don't think that they deserve to come that way. It's not
Right.
fair. It's not fair
It's
to the other immigrants.
not just that. It's not fair when some of the illegal immigrants are getting paid and getting fed and getting. I mean, feed everybody. It's not so. Take that back. But
But no, but you can't, because the thing with that, and if we go into the humanity standpoint of it, right, it sends the wrong message, and that's what happened here at the beginning. The first group came in, they didn't know what to do with them. They put them in a nice luxury hotel or hotels, and guess what? That message went back home, and more came in, and then they got the same treatment. The
think
message went
about what
back home,
happened in New
more
York.
came in, and so you can't keep that pattern of feed everybody because it's a nice thing to do, because like you said, we already have poverty in this country, and they know how to use the system very well already. They're
Right.
communicating and saying, thank you, Chris, for the subscription. And they're saying, this is what I'm getting. This is what I do to get it. And boom. So you can't do that. It does sound nice to feed the poor, but it's an issue when you already have poverty and then they want to take advantage of the system, you
Right.
know?
They're not doing nothing for our veterans and the homeless we have.
But
They're,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying
right.
exactly. So we already have an existing poverty issue in America. It includes the homeless veterans, right? They are included. So you
Well,
can't just be that nice because it sends the wrong message.
they're already, if you heard about was New York, they sent the kids home from school for a couple days so that they can put the immigrants up in the school
Oh
in New York.
yes, you're talking about when they took them out for that night because of the storm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
either way, I mean, well, it was a couple days. So
Yeah, I think it was maybe a night or two. Yeah, but I did report on that too. Chris 22 in the comment section is saying, "Yes, sir. Life supporting true patriotic Americans." Thank you, Chris, for your support. I really appreciate that. I want to welcome to the panel. Is it Ashton?
Hello. I'm not
Hello.
American,
Go ahead.
but what are your thoughts on immigrants?
Can you guys please mute your microphone so we can hear him well? Go ahead.
yeah.
What is your standpoint on immigration?
My standpoint.
Yes.
Did you just join the live, by the way?
Yes. I've
Oh,
been
okay,
here
that
for a
figures
long
because I've been talking about that for a little bit here. Deb is saying hello. Hello, Deb. My standpoint on what's happening right now is that it's very wrong. I'm an immigrant. I came the right way. I paid my fees. I went through the process. So did my family. I've sponsored people to come here the right way. So I'm okay with chain migration. Just do it the right way. Pay your fees, get vetted properly, and not overwhelm the system. So that's my standpoint on that.
Okay, yeah. We have a massive problem here in the UK as well with immigration, but I don't know how it actually works there because
Oh,
the
you're
thing
from the UK? You're
from the UK,
joining
yeah.
from.
hmm
Oh wow, nice. I think it's the first time I have someone join from from the UK. So what's happening over there?
Well, we have a problem where we get a lot of refugees and stuff who get snuck into the country through like vans, lorries. They'll come over on like boats and stuff like that, and then they're
Wow.
basically forced. Well, they can they basically leech off the system through that. Like there's people who come here, immigrants, and they're like fine, they come through legally and whatever. But there's a big problem
So
about
they're coming in like what is it like? You said vans and
yes,
like
they like
trucks or
trucks and stuff like that. They basically
wow.
anywhere.
Do they turn themselves in like they do here to Border Patrol and then seek asylum, or how does that work over
I'm
there?
not 100% sure, but I think they do get it. But like our new prime minister is sort of trying to tackle it, but a lot of people are against it. A lot of people who
Oh, for sure.
yeah, a lot of people, even though
Yeah.
there will be because there's a big problem with like jobs. There's a big stress on hospitals and stuff like that because here the healthcare is free and
Right.
coming over they people can come over and we get so many immigrants every year. They can come over and they can get all those things for free and not pay tax on anything.
Wow.
So they won't pay any tax and they will be able to get all the free healthcare and all the free benefits that everyone does who pays tax,
Right.
which fucks the economy. Like it's
Wow.
causes a lot of
But
problems.
my question is, when they get there, do they get like some form of legal status? And I do air quotes because that's what's happening here. When they turn themselves in, they get an NTA, a notice to appear, which could be years from now. But they are able to stay in the country because they turn themselves into Border Patrol and they seek asylum. Is that happening over there, or do they run away from Border Patrol?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Got it.
I've seen a lot of cases where there's been like big fines, but the thing is, coming on lorries, it's not as popular anymore because they're so they're so tough on it that they search
Right.
everything and you kind of can't, like, it's mainly boats and stuff like that, which is the problem.
Got it. So you're unsure what the actual process is,
not
but they are
100%
entering the country.
No, but the
Do
thing is,
you
people can
know? Do
obviously
you know why they're not being deported right away?
because they're not well. If people in lorries and stuff like that, they are being turned away and whatever. But if they get into the country, um, no, I don't really know why they're not. But like
Wow.
they're just sort of allowed to.
Got it. Rolando in the comment section is saying they do not run from Border Patrol. I'm not sure if you're referring to the UK or here, but here you are correct. They do not run from Border Patrol. Usually they go towards Border Patrol to seek asylum. That's a loophole that they figure out now to be able to be in the country legally. Legally. I do want to welcome to the panel Darty. Go ahead. Oh, Darty dropped. Not sure what happened there.
Hey, well, look,
Uh,
I'm gonna make room for other people to come up for you. I appreciate you hearing me out. I appreciate you having me on. I'm actually going to follow you right now, and
Thank you, Jeff.
appreciate you. I appreciate the calmness of your room here. So,
Yeah, that's how we do it here. We have open conversations. Even if you disagree, that's okay too. By the way, you can stay. There's plenty of room. If you want to come back later, that's okay too. Whatever you like, it's fine.
I'll pop back. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you. You too. Ashton, are you there? Seems like Ashton is off from the screen. I can't hear you, Ashton, if you're off the app. I still see that you're here, but I can't hear you. Ashton, are you there? Not sure what happened with Ashton there, but maybe he'll come back in a little bit. Yeah, guys, if you do want to join the panel, please feel free to do so, and we'll have a conversation about this topic here. DJ Mike is saying it is a loophole that needs to be closed. Yeah, what they're doing is they go to Border Patrol agents and they request asylum. They say that they are scared or fear for their life. And so Border Patrol has to then go through the process of, giving them that interview to see if they qualify for, I forget the name of it right now, but it's something in the sense of valid fear or something like that. I have to look it up again, but yeah, they get interviewed, and if they pass that basic interview, then they are given an NTA. Sometimes they do stay there for some days, but that's usually how it's done. And by the way, this is not only per what's been reported on the news, but also migrants themselves. I've spoken to some of them, and they have shared that information. But let's see. AMAC in the comment section is saying, we are all scared of our leaders. I have Trudeau. Ooh, that's another topic. CMT is saying, and by everybody, I mean all military-aged men from every country. Yeah, I mean, right now it's just from various countries. Absolutely. And again, that goes back to the safety issue of it, right? I mean, even if you want to say, well, I don't care about them overwhelming the benefit system, what about the safety issue? What about the fact that we could have already some terrorist organizations in the country setting up and gathering intel and planning their next move, which could be years from now, by the way? That's the scary part to me. And then you have also the not the terrorist part of it, but the criminal aspect of it, which I reported on this too, the Kayla Hamilton case, which she was unalived by a migrant that was detained at the southern border, per reports, allegedly. And he has ties to the MS-13 gang. So it's a lot of concerns there. I want to welcome KO to the panel. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So I guess my question is like when it comes to like illegal immigration, like I hear people talking about it's a crisis, it's an invasion, and this. I mean, it's hard for me to take that serious when we've had 4 decades to solve this problem, and neither side has done anything significant or serious about it. Even when they had full control of all levels of government, they just keep things the same, both of them, because they like to run and raise money and tell their voters, "Hey, you vote for me, I'll do something." And then when they get there, they're like they either forget about it when they have power, or when the split government say, "Oh, well, they didn't. The other side wouldn't let me do it." And so that's why it's hard for me to like take serious. Like when it's like we need to do something about the border. It's like, yeah, you've been saying that for 40 years.
I hear you, and I've actually spoken about this before. I do blame the Republican Party as well for not taking action on this decades ago. Absolutely. But we cannot also just stay in the past when we see that just for the month of December, we had over 300,000 migrants coming in through the southern border, record breaking. So we cannot just sit and continue dwelling about the past. Are they both at fault? Absolutely, no doubt about it. But we have an ongoing issue right now that we should attend to, you know? But there is a crisis nonetheless. Absolutely,
It's
there is.
so it's an election year, right? And all of a sudden, President Biden wants to do something about the border. So let's do it. Let's push
I
it through.
think it's a little too late, to be honest with you. It's a little too
We
late.
could do something. So, but they're not going to
Yeah.
do anything.
I just don't, yeah, I don't trust, he's not going to do it. What he wants to do, this is what he wants to do, and you can see it on the bill that they want to pass. What he wants to do is get more, a few billion, by the way. It's not even get more money, it's just a few billion. Guys, can you please mute your microphones so that we don't hear an echo? Thank you. Thank you. So what he wants to do, per what we've seen, is that he wants to send a few billions to the border for border security, get more agents, a few more judges to continue the same system, which will again be overwhelmed at some point, and we're back to square one. That's not really doing something about it, you know? We need a complete change in that asylum seeking loophole. It needs to be completely changed. That's what we need to be able to see a real decrease in those numbers. But if you send more agents to do the processing, more are going to come.
Yes, I agree with that, and that has to come from Congress. Congress has to rewrite our law.
Yep, but look what's happening right now. The Democrats are saying we want border security, but you got to give us money for Ukraine. And so the Republicans are like, well, you know, this is not working right. Like I'm telling you, sometimes they're a bunch of goofballs too.
Mhm.
They need to stand up and say, no, we need to end this asylum nonsense now.
This
And
whole
you're not
asylum,
getting not even $1 for Ukraine. But then there's a threat of government shutdown at some point. You know, that conversation is going to come along. You know how it is. So it's all politics. It's a bunch of nonsense. And that's why we're running in circles. We're wasting time. We are wasting time. Texas is trying to stay alive over there and trying to protect the borders. And meanwhile, Congress is over there, you know, arguing about Ukraine. That shouldn't even be a topic, in my opinion. I want to welcome Michael to the panel. Go ahead, Michael.
Good evening.
Good
Can you hear
evening.
me okay?
Yes. Your signal shows a little bit low there, but I think you're fine.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, if you step back and look, you got all these people going to the port of entries, and it's such a cluster there that they go there and then they pan out sideways and find illegal ways of entering because it takes so long to get into the port of entries. And I think what they really need to do is instead of clogging up the port of entries, is to take the information like you were saying earlier about the reason that they came, do the questionnaire, then give them all work visas, every single one of them, and feed them all through the port of entry and then as they're working, then they can continue on with the rest of the process, and that does
You're
away with
saying,
all this.
hold on, you're saying to give them work visas automatically?
Yes, you want something different. Well, this is the only way to stop this baloney.
Well, I don't know if that's, well, that
You
is
know,
something different, all right. You're right there.
it's like give them work visas. You don't have people whining about, oh, we have to support these people, and oh, it takes away from these other people, and that's let them come out and
Michael, do
work.
you
We don't have
know,
enough workers. We don't have
Mike,
enough people working in the stores. We don't have enough people picking apples. We don't have enough people working. You
Michael,
know,
do you know about the 2% in New York that apply for work permits? Have you heard about that story?
no.
No.
But
So I just,
if they're already in New York and they're applying for work permits, then that's way too late. They need to have that stuff when they come in, so they're not dangling somewhere, hoping somebody's gonna
no, Michael, I think
put them up.
you're not getting my point. My point is, it's been already known. Most of them don't want to work. Do you know that?
I don't believe that.
Okay, so this is per the New York Post. You can look it up. You can Google it, by the way. The headline is only 2% of the 140,000 migrants who have come to New York City have applied for work permits. Only about 2% of the tens of thousands of migrants who have poured into the Big Apple since the asylum seeker crisis started have actually applied for work authorization through the city. The latest data shows roughly 3,200 asylum seekers in New York City have filed the required paperwork needed to start earning a legal paycheck. Some 18 months after the relentless migrant influx first began, according to figures provided by City Hall. And this also matches to, by the way, I know a federal worker that is in the benefits section, and she echoed the same thing. She speaks to a lot of them because she processed these applications, and she stated that most of them don't want to work. They want to get the assistance and not work. So what do you think about that, Michael?
Well, I think if you gave them work permits when they came in and cut out the assistance, then a lot of that issue would be resolved.
So, Michael,
I don't think it's appropriate for us to like just say seal off the southern border and don't let anybody else in. And it's like, my great grandfather came here and he did it the legal way. Well, the legal way back then was you come in and you checked on a piece of paper what your name was, and there you go. It wasn't a bunch of this 18 months later or 5 years later. It wasn't all this stuff,
right,
that's just hindering things and causing problems.
right, Michael, but that was a
Making
different
our
time then.
own
It's a different time now. I
log.
mean, you said your grandfather, you said? You said your grandfather came? Is that what you said?
Yeah, my great
Your great grandfather. So
Germany.
and I'm not sure he worked hard for
Yeah,
here in this country, correct? Michael, you're breaking up a little bit. I can't hear you well. Can you hear me?
yeah. They ended up with
Yeah, Michael, your
40
signal
acres
is dropping. I'm not sure. Maybe you
Missouri.
want to try to turn your Wi-Fi on, but your signal is really low. I see it here on my screen.
Well,
Yeah,
that's how
you're breaking up there, Michael.
that's how my Wi-Fi is. Yeah. It's it.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know if you want to maybe
Well,
move to
anyway,
another
I think that
section
there's so
of.
much.
Thank you, Waddle.
That's
Appreciate it.
oh,
Yeah, Michael. So you have to
anyway.
understand that
Yeah,
it was
I
a
just think we
different
should let them
time
work.
then. Michael, it was a different time then. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Michael. What about the other immigrants that are waiting outside of the US that are paying thousands of dollars and waiting for a
So
long period of time to come in the right way? What about them?
Say it again.
So what about all the immigrants that are currently outside of America that have paid thousands of dollars for their applications to come the right way, that have provided proof of financial status, healthcare records, criminal background checks to immigration, and are still waiting to get processed. What about them? What do you do with them, Michael?
Well, I think they should. I think they should be put to the front of the line and all that.
So they should be put to the front of the line, right?
Returned to.
You're breaking up, Michael.
Should be put front of the line, and any money that they spent, they should be put front of the line, and any money that they put out should be reimbursed.
Michael, but if they're put in front of the line, then the migrants at the border, they're going to stay there forever, no? How does that work then?
Well, I don't mean physically go down to the Mexican border and come
No.
the-
I mean, no, I get what you're
through
saying,
the,
to process their application so that they have the travel permit to take a plane and come here. I get that. But I'm saying, if you're saying for those immigrants that have paid their fees and waited their time to come in the right way, if you're saying move them in front of the line, which I agree, by the way, they should be first because they're doing it the right way. So then the
Right.
migrants at the border right now, at the southern border, they will stay there for a long time waiting to enter, correct? Because they have to get in the back of the line.
No, because it's it's a different paperwork backlog. On the at the port of entry, you'd be taking in the information about why they're there and giving them work visas, and then release them.
Wow.
Give them a
Thank you,
date to
Sammy.
work on the other stuff.
Okay, so that one is not working
they
too well.
have,
Okay, so how about this, Michael? So let's forget about the immigrants then that are applying the right way. Let's focus on the migrants then. So you're saying just do a quick interview and give them work visas, okay? What about criminal background checks, Michael? Some of them don't have any documentation. What about that?
Well, that would be one of the things that you'd want to do.
What was that?
But if they're working, I said that'd be one of the next things that you'd want to do is do the background checks. But the thing
how,
is
Michael?
if they're working,
How can you do a background check on, let's say,
if you legally
how are they going to do a background check, Michael, on another country that we have no ties with? Michael, are you there?
how do they do it now? Yeah,
Are you there?
So how do they do it now?
They can't do it.
Yes,
They can't properly do it. That's what we're talking about. Through the border, they can't. If you apply the right way, they specifically request certain documents from certain departments of a country. And you can go for visa requirements on the USCIS website. Each country, they label exactly what they need from you from each country. And I believe all of them are different, or most are different. So that's how they do it now when you do it the right way. But if you're coming through the border, Michael, you're there already. And you can say, my papers got wet, or I lost them, or they robbed me, or whatever, and that's it. There's no way to check the criminal background check.
If you let them in and work, their identifications will be in the system. They'll be paying taxes. They won't be leeching off the government.
Yeah, Michael, but you're talking about those
checks.
But you're talking about those that are here already. What about their criminal background checks in where they come from? What about that? Does that matter to you at all, or no?
Well, I
Does
think
someone criminal history matter to you at all, or no?
It does to some extent.
So that's what I'm
It
asking,
does to
because you're
some
saying
extent.
give them work
It's
visas
not enough to
and
keep.
then put them in our system. Yeah, they'll be in our
Not enough to
system, all
keep
right. Yeah, no
500,000
problem.
people or a million people. You know, it's a few people that should have been kicked out because of their background checks shouldn't be allowed to hold up all these other people that have to wait way beyond the appropriate time to get approved to work. They should be able to come
Okay,
here and
so
work,
you keep going back to the
and
work, but
then
you keep going back to the work visa, but you're not
government
answering
doesn't
the
have a
question.
problem. The government doesn't have a problem grabbing somebody. You know, they don't have a problem grabbing somebody.
Oh, Michael, your signal is
They
Michael, your signal is breaking up
background check.
badly. Thank you, Fina. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Michael, your
Anyway.
signal. Michael, I'm going to drop you and then send a request to come back because you're breaking up too much. I can't hear you well. Okay, yeah, do that because you're breaking up badly. I would like to have this conversation, but he's breaking up. You guys heard him. Yeah. Send a request again, Michael. I'll put you back on the panel. Yeah, guys, if any of you want to join the conversation, please feel free to do so. I was going to ask Michael about Kayla Hamilton. I'm not sure if you guys, Liz is saying, please don't bring him back. You guys. Everyone in the comment section is like, please don't bring Michael back. You guys are hilarious. Oh, man. Jay saying, be nice. Yeah, come on, guys, be nice. let's have an open discussion here. You know, I'm not going to read what some of these comments are saying. Yeah, we want you guys. These comments. Oh, man. People on YouTube are going to be mad now because they want me to read these comments. Because in YouTube, the comment section doesn't show up for some reason once I post the recorded version. By the way, guys, please support my YouTube channel. Last weekend, I became a YouTube partner, and that's all thanks to you, to your support. I really appreciate it. You guys have been amazing. I mean, we're almost, I think, at almost 20,000 followers on TikTok. So please continue to follow. I appreciate it so much. Again, those that send gifts, those that subscribe, you guys help a lot. You know, it allows me to spend more time on these platforms. But if you are not able to do that, at least tap the live, like the videos, share them, and follow, of course. That helps a lot as well. Helps the algorithm too. Anyway, I was going to ask Michael about Kayla Hamilton and her case. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about her. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Yeah, Kayla Hamilton is such a tragic story. I believe she was 20 years old. Let me verify that right now for you. Yeah, so Kayla Hamilton, she turned 20 on July 24th, 2022. This is per Fox 45 News. And 3 days later, after her birthday, she was unalived by a person that is allegedly a migrant that was actually detained at the southern border and has ties to the MS-13 gang. Yeah, very sad story. It wasn't highlighted by the mainstream media. Of course it wouldn't, you know. The View and Whoopi Goldberg wouldn't talk about it. CNN has no articles about it. I've been trying to search, at least last time I checked was like 2 days ago. And they didn't report on this. By the way, this is from 2022. So imagine. The mother was in Capitol Hill last week. And she was sharing her experience in Congress. And it's such a heartbreaking story. The girl was autistic. And she was living with her boyfriend. And the boyfriend found her remains, unfortunately. So it was very sad. And I actually reached out to the mother. I believe I told you about this a few days ago. And she will be joining me tomorrow as a special guest. So tomorrow we'll be talking about Kayla Hamilton's case with the mother. She will be the special guest here on my live via TikTok. And I'm more than honored that she accepted and she's willing to come here and share that heartbreaking story. Tim Cat is saying that's amazing. Liz is saying, yay, what time? Yes, guys, my live schedule is on my TikTok page. You can see it right there. It would be the same time as today. Usually my lives are Monday through Thursday around 5:15 p.m. Pacific, 5:15 p.m. Eastern. And 5:15 p.m. Pacific, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And that's the schedule that I like to keep between 5 to 5:20, somewhere in that window. I know I don't want to give you the exact time because sometimes I'm a little bit late or a little bit early, but it's within that window. Usually it's before 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So put it 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern to just keep it there in that window. Yeah. So the live for tomorrow will be the Kayla Hamilton's case with the mother as a special guest, and she will be here sharing that story with all of us. And I'll be interviewing her about this case, what she experienced, and right now she's also suing the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you, Christ. And I want to ask her about that, an update on that. Also, she did share on her Twitter/X platform that while she was in Congress sharing the story of Kayla, she saw some Democrats on their phones barely paying attention to her. And she really found it frustrating. So I want to ask her about that because that was wild when I read that. This was on her page, by the way. So yeah, so it is a tragic story, and again, goes to show that some people don't understand how scary it is to have individuals come here without proper vetting. And that's why I was asking Michael about the work visas. I said, well, what about the background checks? And he's like, no, just give them background checks, put them in our system, and let them work. That's not, guys, some people, I'm not sure if they're so naive or maybe they just really are good-hearted that they don't understand that there's actually bad people out there. And I'm not saying that all us Americans are perfect. We have some bad people here too. But again, goes to that notion. Just because you have bad people in your neighborhood doesn't mean you're going to bring more bad people from another neighborhood. Like that logic doesn't make sense, So I'll be talking to Kayla's mom tomorrow. It will be very interesting. I may let some of you guys join the panel to ask some questions. I don't know. I'm debating that because I really want to be respectful to her. She's taking the time to come here. So I may just ask you guys to put the questions in the comment section for her. But I do want to have that one-on-one on her. We have 3 people here that joined the panel. I want to welcome first Don. Go ahead, Don.
Hey, this has been actually a crisis that's been going on that's not been covered by the news. Just a day or two ago, there was a man that was on his actual 6th DUI that got into a wreck. He was speeding over 100 miles an hour and killed a woman and her child in a vehicle. And yeah, he had been previously deported 4 times. He's got 6 DUIs in this country, and they keep letting him out. And he keeps doing this harm.
Yep, you are correct. Actually, I'm working on that video. I may post it tonight or tomorrow. That's going to be my next video. This is per K2 News, ABC. Illegal immigrant deported 4 times, accusing of unaliving woman, son in Colorado DUI case. So this migrant had been deported from the U.S. 4 times before. A nice spokesperson told this network. The 37-year-old was charged with vehicular homicide, reckless vehicular homicide DUI, and habitual traffic offender after crashing his truck, resulting in the unaliving of the mother and the 16-year-old son. Yeah, that's true, Don. What you said, it did happen, and that was just recent, by the way. This was reported back on January 10th, so it's very recent. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been many more going all the way back since this crisis has
Oh
started.
yeah.
Too numerous to even say. And he keeps getting a free ride across the border. We keep picking him up, sending him back, charging
Yeah.
him, and he keeps coming back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's like sometimes you don't know what else to say. You see these patterns, and like you said, it doesn't really get reported that much. Cynthia, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't really get reported. You don't see CNN sitting down with panel. You know how they talk about Trump, right?
yeah. Why aren't they
You
doing
don't you
that
don't you don't see them having that conversation about this. Like, oh, it's like they don't care. They're just focused on Trump. That's all they care about.
Yeah, and our problems in our country require people to sit down and have open dialogue, even if they disagree, to be able to come up with some type of solution that's in middle
Yeah,
ground that solves both sides' problems.
yeah.
So, all right,
No,
I'll let
I
the
agree.
other panel
Yep.
members
Uh,
jump in.
yeah, you can stay. By the way, that's okay if you want to stay.
Yeah.
I want to welcome to the panel. Boom. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. What did the Biden administration expect to happen? I'm lost on this. He has a 19% approval rating at the border and dropping. It's dropping every month. You bring this number of people in from different countries, different ethnicities, different religious backgrounds, all different mindsets, all at the same time, and expect everybody not to be a criminal, expect everybody to assimilate. They don't even have, look, we don't, all, the only thing we have is
Oh, what happened there? I think it dropped. Boom. Send your request again, please. Not sure what happened. I think it's back now. Go
I don't know
ahead.
what happened. I have no clue what happened. Okay, so
I think you were on fire. TikTok just couldn't handle you. He couldn't handle that. The truth.
right? He has a 19% approval rating at the border. I really don't know what their end game is. I'm confused. You bring all these people over in at the same time and say they all want to work. Say we have 8 million jobs to fill, okay? But we don't have 8 million jobs. People say, oh, they're going to take jobs that Americans don't want. We don't have 8 million jobs, 8 million strawberry picking jobs, or 8 million jobs cleaning hotels, et cetera, et cetera. These are, if you look on Monster, these are Monster for jobs. These are all jobs that require training and education, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have that many jobs available. And these people have to eat. These people have to feed themselves. The government isn't going to be around to take care of them for the next 3 to 5 years. So what are they going to do? What did the Italians do when they came over and they couldn't find jobs? They formed gangs so they can eat, so they can feed themselves. You bring this many people over at the same time? What do you think is going to happen? I mean,
Yeah. Can you please mute your mic, Jonathan, so we can hear Boom, please? Thank you.
yeah, this is a recipe for disaster. I'm really confused on somebody's mic is up, man. Yeah, I'm really confused on what the end game is with this, because he's going to lose the election just based on the border. You can ignore the
I
economy.
believe that.
Yeah,
I believe you're right about that.
Yeah,
I
you can ignore
think this
everything else.
issue will completely make him go down in the election for
Yeah,
sure.
makes
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
But Boom, do you think, because you said, what was he thinking? Maybe this was on purpose?
I think it was on purpose at first. This is what I'm thinking, and I thought about this extensively. As you know, you're Hispanic and I'm Black. We've always been really open-minded when it comes to immigration. We have. Even illegal immigration, I haven't really had any problem with it. It's the way that it's happening now that is literally a slap in our faces.
A true slap.
Yeah, it's a true slap. And everybody in your community and my community are like, no, hell no. I haven't had, look, I'm in California and I haven't had any problems before this with people coming over here illegally. I've known people that have hired a coyote to come over here. Haven't had any problem. But this is different. It's totally different. You know,
Why do you think
especially
it's different?
because it's so many people coming over here at the same time. You see their entitlement. It's our resources are getting taken away from us in the inner cities. It's different. It's different. Like I said, the immigrants that came in before, you didn't even notice them, and
You didn't even,
especially
well, yeah, in most cases you
yeah,
didn't notice.
you
Correct.
didn't even notice. This is
Yeah.
totally different. And like I said, it's a
Are
lot
you
of
in
resentment.
do you live in a sanctuary city, by the way?
Oh, absolutely, California. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah,
California. Oh, okay,
yeah,
got it.
yeah. It's a lot of
Have you watched Boom? Have you watched any of my migrant complaining videos?
yes, yeah, I have. Yeah,
What do
I
you
like the
think
way
about
I
that?
like the
What do you
way
think
you
about the
edit
things
your.
they say, they
I
complain
like the way
about?
you edit. I like the way you edit your videos. So I got to give you props on that. You do a
Thank
great
you, sir.
job of editing. It's tight. I like it. I like it. But dude, it's really eye opening, man. It's eye opening. Like I said, it's an entitlement. It's different. It is really, really different. The people that came over before, they would stay under the radar. They would work, do what they got to do. They would assimilate. These people, they're throwing away food that's given to them. They're waking up early, taking turkeys from the people in the inner cities. They don't care. It's literally an invasion, and it's resentment
But they
coming.
still
It's
complain
resentment.
though. They find a way to complain
It's still
somehow.
complaint. Yes. It is resentment coming from people in your community because a lot of people have paid to get over here. These people are coming over here for free. They don't have to wait in line. It's a resentment, and it's resentment from people in my community because they're coming in taking the resources that were promised to us, and we're not getting a fresh start. It's a lot of people, like I said, they don't have a database for people who broke the law in, I don't know, I'm gonna make up a city, a small city in Argentina. Let's say they were in a city called Chino, Argentina. I don't know, or Venezuela. I'm sorry. They don't have Chino, Venezuela, a small city. They don't have fingerprint databases. A lot of these places don't even have running water. So we have no idea the crime they committed in these small cities. The only thing we can run is if a criminal is internationally wanted. They don't even share that database with us. So these people get to come over here and start a new life, and they may have committed a felon in their country. Meanwhile, the people over here that commit felonies aren't even allowed to go to the next state. They have so many restrictions on them, and they can't get a fresh start on life. These people are able to come to a different country, give a new name, and start a brand new life. And you don't think this is going to build resentment amongst people? Are you kidding me? I think it's purposely done. I don't know why. I don't know what their end game is. Like I said, I think they
Why,
they know.
Boom, why do you think that networks like CNN or shows like Good Morning America don't do videos like I do, exposing this and highlighting this behavior of theirs?
Because they know because the Democrats and liberals have always been pro immigration, but they refuse to accept that what they're doing now, it's not resonating with most of America. Like I said, mostly um, people of color have always opened our arms to people coming in. But now, like I said, it's building resentment with us, and they don't want to admit that.
Yep, I agree. I want to give the word to Aventa. Go ahead. Welcome to the panel. You have on mute. Let me see. Go ahead, Venta. Go
Uh,
ahead.
yes, I'm coming from a different angle on this. I've been doing a lot of research and I worked in government jobs for 25 years. And I'm really concerned with the human trafficking aspect of this. I I believe it's happening more and more. I've seen videos of kids with different color bands on their arms. When you talked about the article about them not wanting to work that you just read tonight, I believe it's because they come in and they already have illegal jobs set up, and they have to work off their money that they've given to these people to come over to this country, and they have to work that money off in different nefarious ways. And that's been happening a lot for the past several years. It's it's scary because these are young kids we're talking about. This isn't,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a good thing. And like the
Thank you,
last
Mima. I
generation,
appreciate it, Mima. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it is very concerning. I'm not sure exactly. They have some jobs here. I mean, I've spoken to some of them. Some of them are working. Some of them are not working. Again, the data is hard to verify if they are working under the table. Like how many of them are working under the table is really difficult to tell. We have seen a pattern though in New York City where they are using these mopeds that are not even registered to be able to do some deliveries. But again, they're breaking the rules. They're not paying registration. They're not paying insurance. Like most people, most Americans are doing. Once again, just another slap in the face. Just echoing what Boom said there earlier in the live. So it's just like they come here and they're like, "Well, I don't have work permits, so I have to do this. I have to break the law and make deliveries." Me, my saying, many are stolen, probably. So again, it's just like I'm here. You're not giving me work permits, so I'm gonna. Some guy said that he would steal food because he doesn't have money because when he goes to look for a job, they don't hire him. So it's that mentality that Boom is referring to that it's completely different than what we had before. It's just totally different. I want to welcome KB to the panel. Go ahead.
Hey, so I'm going to just speak in just in politics, purely politics, because you guys are being way too sensible. So, from a political perspective, it's January. This doesn't hurt Biden or whomever will run as the Democrat. Democrats have very short attention spans, like or memories, and most Americans do. So the play is to win the election. uh there's a lot of time, and Democrats swoop in with solutions like Schumer already did, and just keep, you know, butting up against and showing that Republicans stand against solutions. Look at Republicans at the border. Look how they treat um, people. You know, it'll just be the optics that they'll use, because already there's a clip of a woman saying, "I can't believe that this is happening in a democratic country." You know, so I don't see this hurting Democrats or hurting Biden just because of the timing of it. We can already see that if it's in Democrat heavy cities, it would be the Democrats would have to clean it up anyway, because no Republicans can ever win Chicago or New York City, or LA. So they'll make it wash away, like optically. You know, it will disappear from the news. Democrats don't watch you. Um, right? So San Francisco, look what happened when Ho Chi Minh, what was his name, was coming to visit, and the streets were cleaned. So I think from a
Right.
political
I remember
perspective,
that. By the
yeah,
way, do you know what happened to those homeless people?
I don't even,
They
what
didn't
happened?
even say what happened to them.
Oh, that's horrible. Really?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm not sure where I hope they put them somewhere safe, but there was no reporting on that. I
Ugh,
found that very interesting.
makes my heart
But
hurt.
KB, you don't
Yeah.
think that some common sense Democrats? I've spoken to some of them, and they regret voting for Biden. Some
So
of them
here,
may turn around and say, "Yeah, I'm not doing this again."
so here's the reality. You have to make that stick from now until November. People will be swayed back by friends, by pressure. What's at play are, you see, it was very, very difficult. The win in 2016 for Trump, I was on that campaign. It was very, very difficult because you're looking at entrenched people that will just vote for a Democrat no matter what. And I don't know that enough have moved over. So the MAGA's Democrats, Republicans, independents, right? And libertarian. It's a mixed bag. But I just don't know that enough have remained and or have moved, the play. I mean, 2020, look, if you were really looking at 2020 and accepting the numbers, it's an uphill battle. So you'd have to get, then if you took 2020 as just real numbers, look at the spread. You have got to move millions to Trump. So I don't think that's why I'm saying from a political perspective, I don't think this is going to hurt the Democrats.
I see. I see. I mean, I hope that you're wrong about that. I really do.
Me too.
Yeah, especially in those sanctuary city and states, a lot of people are very upset about this.
Yeah, can I say something real quick? And then
Go ahead, Boom. Go ahead.
Comment on this.
Yeah.
In the Hispanic community, nor the African American community, I'm not just talking about voting yet, but we've never even polled ever this high for a Republican candidate. Just based on polling alone, we've never seen this before, ever. Just me talking to Vega and him talking to me, maybe he has the same experience. I've never met anyone with a Spanish accent ever willing to vote for a Republican. This is different. These are regular. I'm not talking about Clarence Thomas type Republicans.
I think that's a fair point.
Yes,
I think so.
It's different now. Totally different. I've never seen it like this before, ever.
I mean, I've even seen people on or social media in general that barely speak English, and they're like, "I'm voting for Trump."
And you didn't see this 4 or 5 years ago.
No,
That's
he
what
was
I'm
the
saying.
racist back then. Remember?
Yes.
They're asking for Trump in Chicago. They're asking for him. They're like, come to
I want to
Chicago,
welcome
come
Mima to the
Chicago.
panel. Go ahead, Mima.
Hi, yeah, I mean, you see all these neighborhoods, they're fed up with what's going on. They're dumping all these migrants in their neighborhoods, and they're the ones having to deal with it. And they're like, you're taking care of all these people. When were you taking care of us? All this money being shelled out. Like I've said before in the past, these shelters, one nurse in one of these shelters in 1 month is making the salary of what a nurse makes in 1 year. That's how much money they're shelling out in these shelters. You could go there and work 1 month and make what a nurse makes in 1 year.
You're talking about the workers, right?
Yeah, just the workers.
Yeah, I actually did. I think I did a video on that too. That happened in Chicago too. The amount of money they were paying the security guard, was insane.
Yep. So if they got money,
yeah, I mean, I think
that they could be helping neighborhoods all across this country. No, they're choosing to spend it on people that aren't even supposed to be here.
Yep. And by the way, I believe that specifically in Chicago, let's say that company they hired, I forget the name, but I know I did a video on it. That contract, that should be investigated because there's something funky going on in there. I mean, it's a lot of money, a lot of money being spent for like basic services.
Yeah.
And they're hiring, in some cases, out-of-state professionals, not even Chicagoans.
Yeah.
That's insane to me, but Congress is not looking into it, at least as of yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's a true shame. Go ahead, Boom, do you want to say something?
I can. I saw that. They had to go to court for that, man. They had to go to court to get those documents to find out what they were spending on the immigrants. They didn't just give it to them. They had to go to court to get because those documents
Correct.
were sealed.
They didn't want to release them, right?
Yes. They didn't want to release them. So once they found out, it was over. Let me tell you something. The black vote is really, really monolithic. Okay, people say we're not, but we are 90%. And so you really have to do something extremely bad for us to call out Trump or the Republicans. So it's not, KB, I know you're worried because, you say they have a year. It's no way. The only way that they could get us back is literally they would have to kick deport all the migrants in these cities and give us reparations, which is what they're not going to do. So you don't have to worry about that vote.
Well, somebody just put up a bill for what, $14 trillion in reparations. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way they'll get our vote back, and that's not going to happen. So
here's the deal: you need the vote in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona. Florida will go for Trump, but it's just close. And Georgia, so that's where, so when you're looking at, you have to look at the areas where you need the vote. So if you are going to, I mean, California is not up for grabs. Illinois, I don't know what Illinois, how many electoral votes could Chicago? You'd need Chicago. Illinois can't go. So because
Illinois is going blue, and New York is going to go. I mean, Illinois is going red, and New York is going red. I know y'all think I'm crazy in the panel, but New York will be red, and Illinois.
You think the whole state will go red?
Yes,
Really?
I agree.
Understand. Okay, so New York,
Wow.
New York did not like. New York does not like Donald Trump. They don't. So before 2016 and before 2020, when people were going up interviewing people, you can find one person endorsing Trump. Now the entire city is calling out for Trump. And that's where he lived. That's where he had a lot of his businesses. And they didn't like Trump. Now they want him.
So, but you're saying New York City or the state? Because the state is huge.
Yes, but the city, you don't understand. All these migrants are right. They see them. New York is condensed. So they see all these migrants in the street. And it's pissing everybody off. They want Trump. I know you follow politics just like I do, but you got to see the videos. And it's a number of them. For people.
Oh no, I've seen. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, there will be an Outlook. Well, actually, maybe there won't be. Maybe somebody who is. Maybe I will go join the campaign just so I can find out. Upstate almost went for Trump. It was shocking how some of the counties didn't turn. That's why I thought there was such a something was wrong. So yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I want to be wrong.
Well, we have Pepe in the comment section. He's saying that he's a New York voter. So who are you voting for, Pepe? He's saying New York is going red.
Well, I got to say, I'm currently in California, Sanctuary City. I'm in Los Angeles, and from what I hear on the streets, just talking to people, there's a lot of Democrats that are turning red, and they may not have California locked down like they thought they did in the past.
Interesting.
Because people are fed up, even with the migrant situation. People are just fed up. They're literally camped out on our streets, and they're given aid that's coming out of the pockets of the citizens that are here, the taxpayers. Hospitals are overrun. Some places have up to a 24-hour wait for the emergency room. It's just insane on how much is littering our hospitals, our schools. There's kids that can't even, American citizen kids that can't even go to school. They have to do school online because there's too much being given to the immigration situation that's down here currently.
Right, because they have to hire all these teachers, English as a second language. Our schools are built based on population. We haven't had a chance to build extra schools. Same with the hospitals. Hospitals are built based on population. We don't have these extra hospitals. I'm an ICU nurse, so I know that's how it goes. And these hospitals, especially in these cities, can't take all these extra people.
I agree. I want to welcome Fish to the panel. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to address, for one, the Michael guy that was in the box and having connection issues that says that he believes we should just let them all in with work visas and vet them once they are here while they are working when we have time. And I really would like him to reconsider his thought, because the whole problem right now that he mentioned was how long it takes to get them vetted. Well, that's because there's so many of them. We don't need to let people just come in without finding out their background. that's a recipe for disaster. So let's take Republican and Democrat out of this whole conversation and just say we want legal immigration for people that should come here to help make America better, not criminals, not people trying to scam others or terrorists. And that's it. That's all I had to say. I wanted Michael to actually hear that. I don't know if he's in the comments or not.
Yeah, I hope he's in the comment section. I did ask him to send the request again, but I'm not sure what happened. For those that don't know, Michael, someone in the comment section joined, and he said that he wanted the migrants to get the work visas right away, the work permits right away, as soon as they reach the border, and then we can put them in our system and then vet them. I guess at some point during the process of them working, which is just, again, so unrealistic. First of all, there's no such thing as you just come here and then you get a job on day one and you have an apartment. No, they're going to go to the shelter. It's just, we're going to go back to square one. That's actually worse, because if they get that message that they're going to get free work permits right away at the port of entry, can you imagine the amount of people that would come?
Oh my gosh.
It would be insane. Like, it would be nothing that we've ever seen before. This would be like, it would be like a dream what we're getting right now if that was to happen. And I know that some Democrats in Chicago are pushing for that. Some of the representatives there are pushing for them to get work permits now for free, even if they don't qualify. One of the congresswomen said, even if they don't qualify, they should get it just so they can start working. So they create this crisis, and then they want to solve it illegally, breaking the rules. So that's why I think that there has to be, in my opinion, some part of this, or maybe all of it, has to be on purpose. They sort of want to legalize them right away. You know?
The vote.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me just add,
because, New York has pushed for some of these non-citizens, which includes residents, but also those that have no documentation, if they have children here, that they can vote for some local elections. Some, very small, but that's like a sign to me, like a signal of what they want to do in the future for bigger elections.
So I was on a live earlier today. I have to talk cryptic because she was actually kicked off the live and suspended actually through the end of the month from going live for what she discussed. But she was discussing she's actually a illegal immigrant from Brazil, and however she knows many that have come here since then. Back in 2020, during the elections, these people received multiple mail-in ballots, like most people did. A lot of people got multiple in the mail.
Before you say that, I want to stress that this is pure entertainment, and also all speculation, just for, you know what I mean, just to protect the life. Go ahead, Mima.
There we go. Pure speculation. These people receive them, and she says they all use them, and she was very upset by that.
Yeah, I do not think the Democrats thought that they would get so much backlash from the Hispanic and the Black community. They usually get 50% of the white vote. They know it's going 50-50. They usually get 90% of our vote and 70% of the Hispanic vote. I think what they thought, we can put Trump in jail, win the House and win the Senate in December, then we can pass these amnesty laws to make these people legal, and we can win every election for the next 16, 20 years or whatever. I think that's what they thought.
Or maybe not even put Trump in jail, because that sounds unrealistic even to their standards. I think it was more of damaging his image. Right. Maybe they thought that by putting all of these charges on him, his popularity was just going to go down the drain, because they figured, well, the January 6th, right? You add that to all of these cases, forget it. He's done politically. Because let's face it, no other politician would be able to handle this, what he's going through right now. Right. They would have folded long time ago.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do think that was their end game. That they thought that They
Yeah.
thought that we, because the Hispanic community and the Black community, we've always been cool on immigration. We've never, had a big pushback to it. And they thought they would have us going in,
Yeah.
along with all the charges, get everybody in, get everybody amnesty, and then, they just they can pretty much destroy the Republican Party.
Yeah, I think they wanted to damage the image for sure. And yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. But it totally backfired once again.
You know something that aligns with I listen a lot to trends of what I'm hearing because I understand when something's been floated. I don't always pick up on when a new concept to ape that I'll hear repeated. So I keep hearing more and more than I ever have before. Republicans haven't even won anything in years. And I'm like, that's lends itself to what you're saying, boom shakala, because that was a strategy communicated. I remember that it was to secure and lock up so Republicans couldn't win anymore. But I keep already hearing it. Republicans haven't won anything, and we're a bunch of losers. And I'm like, well, wait a second. There's 32 red states. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that that would follow. They already have people saying it as if Republicans are already losers and it's locked up and too bad for you. And the Republican Party's over. I keep hearing that.
Nah.
People are waking up more
Go ahead,
because
Ventai. Go ahead.
they actually had some fights talking about New York in Brooklyn. They had a group of residents that actually got migrants kicked out of an old school that they were trying to use to house these people. And they stood up and they were there day and night. They actually filed suit and won and got them out. And then now they're trying to put them in the basement of a senior home in Brooklyn. And more and more people in these areas of these sanctuary cities are waking up big time and
Yeah,
see what they're doing.
the
The
people in
deception.
the people in the South Bronx are asking for Trump to come to the South Bronx so he can give a Trump rally. The South Bronx. I don't know if you guys know what the South Bronx is.
Yes, I know. I love it. I love it.
I've been there. Very nice.
Well,
Right.
and
I know.
just saw
They're very welcoming.
that Chicago's having a problem because the police stations are being filled with the overflood of the immigration, and the police officers aren't even able to do their job protecting the citizens because they're babysitting migrants in their front office.
I think they got old.
Yeah.
Out of they're not in the police station anymore. They got them somewhere else now. That was pretty old.
They
Well,
have them
Oh,
in the airports now.
They're
And they're
all
under
in,
closed quarters. And a
they're all in
couple,
O'Hare
another
Airport behind curtains.
Did you guys hear about the Chicago official that suggested housing migrants?
yeah.
Do you hear about that? Let me just read this real quick for you. I just found it before I went on the live. So this is per Yahoo News and the Independent. So it says Chicago suburb official suggests locals sign up to house migrants. A city council member in the Chicago suburb proposed that local families who want to volunteer to house migrants should put their names on a sign-up sheet. And this is the quote: "I think we live in a compassionate community," end quote, this council member said. His name is Josh McBroom. He said at a city council meeting on the 16th of January, before recommending that his staff create a sign-up sheet for individuals that would be willing to house migrant families. And this is what he said, and I quote, "We hear from people that we should do more. We do have a very affluent community, a lot of big homes," end quote. Although the city council member said that he doesn't support using taxpayer money to fund migrant aid, he sought volunteers to house migrants. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I can go back to.
Tell them to offer their homes first.
Hey, boom. Do you
Wouldn't get
have room in your house there to house some of them? What do you think?
They wouldn't get paid?
Oh, you crazy? Hell no.
Okay, so listen, I don't get that. I can see that
Go ahead, KB. Go ahead.
I was actually thinking, some Republicans, like I've always like go on the offensive, get creative, push something to either, make something a little bit like come out in the open. Like I would, if I were a Republican in San Diego, I'd be preying upon the Democrats saying we need to change the zoning laws like immediately overnight and say anybody can Airbnb for migrants. Like that's what I would be doing in Chicago if I were a Republican. Anybody can, we need to immediately change the Airbnb laws because I know you can't actually Airbnb in Chicago, right? In some neighborhoods.
Oh,
So
really?
I
I
would
wasn't
immediately,
aware of that. I don't know.
yeah, somebody can confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that one of these, I'm pretty sure Chicago shut that down. So I would say up,
Interesting.
anybody can rent, and it has to be under the certain amount because we're going to put it on their card, right? Because they have credit
Jay
cards.
in the comment section said that some neighborhoods.
So I would be like pushing this, going, well, hey, you're so
Yeah.
benevolent, you rich Chicagoan. Like, let's open it up that anybody can rent, and that because they were paying how much for housing these folks before, then why can't somebody in Chicago, anywhere
Right.
in any hood of Chicago, rent?
Yeah. The thing is that let's face it, nobody wants to do that. That's the reality of
No,
it.
and their
Well,
history about
Nobody
how
wants to do that. They are
they
all
trash
talk, no
places.
action, these Democrats. They love to come here on these lives and say, oh, we should support this, we should support that. You're very anti immigrant. And
well,
then you propose this to them and they run away.
well, and to go back to one point that was made earlier with Brazilian lady being taken advantage by her own community. My background when I was younger, I worked as a private contractor in 13 different countries throughout the Middle East and Africa. And these people, there's a cultural thing where they're going to try to get the most because they're constantly cheated. There is a reason why their actions are the way that they are. Everybody is trying to get over on somebody else in these countries, so they fight tooth and nail for everything they get. When they come over here, they still have those same habits.
Yeah, that's super problematic. I want to tell you when I was because in my head when you first said that, when I this is what I pictured, Vega. I was just out of college with a friend backpacking in Europe, no money, and you could hop on a train back then for like nothing. We go to Portugal, get off in this little town, and we heard that these people that live there approach you and say, will you stay with us? You can stay with us. And you pay them, obviously. But it's like, a little room in this tiny little place. And we go down this dark street. And my friend and I are looking at each other, don't speak any, I speak French, my friend speaks Spanish. We don't speak Portuguese, but somehow we're communicating with this very sweet woman. Like we could have been going, we had no idea. We're just going down this dark, walkway and into her house. And she was so nice to us. So that's what I was picturing, that kind of situation. But of course, we're some sort of like, kids from the States. They didn't worry about us, right? They were making
Right.
money off us. But that's what I thought. But I guess that wouldn't really work, right? Like we all
Oh,
walk down to the train and pick up the migrants. No, it's not going to
oh
work.
yeah, no.
Uh,
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I'm
And
just,
remember, again, it's a safety issue too, you know? I mean, nobody wants to say it, but it's the truth. I mean, what do you find in poor neighborhoods?
Yeah.
There's a lot
So
of crime in those poor neighborhoods.
There's
And
absolutely
nobody wants to
all that.
say it because people get offended, but that's the truth. I mean,
I'll
there's
say
a
it.
reason why a lot of people don't want to live in poor neighborhoods because it's
What?
dangerous. So,
So
I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but there's a mix there, and you're running that risk. Who the hell wants to run that risk? I don't want to run that risk.
Well,
Um,
they had them in
I
these
want to
beautiful.
welcome. Go ahead,
Oh,
Mima. Go
sorry.
ahead.
They had them in these beautiful, nice hotels. I mean, they were nice hotels, and they said they trashed them. They trashed these hotels. So why would
They
you?
did, yeah,
Who'd want to have them in their
and they were
home?
actually being verbally abusive to some of the staff there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want to welcome Spirit to the conversation. Go ahead.
Hello, Vega, everyone. I wanted to make a few comments. First, about the Josh from Naperville. He was being sarcastic, calling bluff. Uh, he
Who's
knows,
this? Oh, the council guy. Okay.
yes, from Naperville. Yeah, he was being sarcastic, calling bluff because how the people say, somebody should help them, but no one's lining up to sponsor. So that's why he made those
Oh, got it.
comments.
So he was being sarcastic. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
Mhm.
read the article, it doesn't come out that way, but okay, I see your point. I didn't see the video. That's why I was just reading the article.
Oh, yes. You would have to see the video of him speaking to get that. Yeah, that's would make sense. Also, yes, there are certain neighborhoods in Chicago that does not allow Airbnbs. I live in one, and it's because we don't want problems. We did have it in the past. People would throw house parties and trash the place, all other kind of things. So yes, they
Oh, that's
are
right.
stopped.
You are from Chicago, right, Spirit?
Yeah, yep. I'm
I
in
remember
Chicago.
you. Yes, I remember you now. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what happened there? It was just chaos, or
with the Airbnbs in
yeah,
certain
with the
neighborhoods.
Airbnbs.
In certain neighborhoods, there were the people were partying and
Wow.
yeah, having huge house parties. There was destroying stuff. The police had to get involved, so that's why they stopped allowing Airbnbs in certain neighborhoods. It's
Wow.
not
So
for
it
all
was
of
that bad.
Chicago.
I
Yeah,
didn't
and that
even
was
know
a few
that.
years ago.
Oh.
That was a few years ago. What God, about 5 years ago?
Kimberly saying same in Arizona. Wow.
Yeah, there was a big problem with house parties, and they would
Yeah.
trash
Hmm.
the home.
New York City, I think a bunch of neighborhoods did the same ultimately because it was way too much in and out of these condos. But I just want to know, I just want you to know, I would walk through Harlem any day, but the south side of Chicago, like there's just some parts like just sort of, I'd
What
rather be in
parts?
Compton. It was the loop, the new loop. It's over
Like
not the
18th
North Loop.
Street,
Yeah,
18th and
like
State.
that new train station was
Mm-hmm.
the new stop.
Like
Not
18th and
train.
State.
Yes,
The
and so
South
there was
Loop.
all
You're
this
talking
crime
about the
there,
South Loop.
and I kind of
Oh,
was
that's
like,
nothing.
well, it
That's
was sort of
nothing.
when I was there.
Well, it gets worse than that, Spirit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
18th and
Wow.
State is a walk in the park. Yeah. You try going in
Wow.
Inglewood, it's a whole nother story. Go to the west side. That's where it's different.
That's
Yeah.
where the
I
action
mean,
is.
yeah. Well, let's put it this way. When Cabrini Green was still up, and I was a teen at the time, I had no problem walking around Cabrini Green. Uh, but I would never step in Inglewood, West Inglewood.
Interesting.
Never. Yes, I didn't care who was with me. I would never step there. But Cabrini Green, oh yeah, and never had a problem. So I mean, by 18th over there in State and the Loop, it's more about mugging and robbing. So if
Oh,
anything, you
great.
just have to hold your purse tight. Yeah, you have to hold your purse tight. But in Chicago,
Wow.
you try to take our purse, we'll sit there and hit you with it. So it's different
Wow.
here.
You never
Wow.
know where you're at though now, you know? You
Well,
never
it's
know.
true. I mean, things
In
just continue to
Chicago.
change.
Yeah.
That being said, I want to welcome Kimberly to the panel. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. I'm in Arizona, so I can speak on a couple of different areas. But I first wanted to pose the thought that we should use their own words against them. So when that congressperson or that mayor or any public official comes out and says, oh, we should do that, whether it be this living situation or our Second Amendments, what about them? Why don't you open your doors and open your big house to these individuals? Why don't you not have your Secret Service details? Why is it, So again, it's the whole say as I do, not as, or do as I say, not as I do kind of situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think someone in the comment section on one of those articles I read, they said, well, okay, that's fine. Let's start with Obama's house first, then Pelosi's, then Biden's, then yours and all the senators, and then the citizens can take some of them. So that's a good point.
Well, if you remember right, the Republicans did say that, and they just ignored the comments and just kind of brushed over it.
Of course they did.
My
Go
mayor,
ahead, Kimberly.
And
Kathy.
the other part, so I'm 20-year prior law enforcement, and states, cities need to be very careful about allowing people to come in and reside in your homes. I know a lot of people think that it's a good gracious thing, and what if it doesn't work out? So now your property is being destroyed, or things are being taken, or you just simply change your mind and you no longer want them in there. Once you grant them a toothbrush in their clothes, any personal belongings in their house, that renter or guest has way more standing ground in courts right now than the legal tenant of the home. So you have to go through the complete eviction process, which could take months to get them out. And in the meanwhile, here, if your family is now unsafe, you're having to leave everything that is yours simply because you gave them the right to come in and have a place to stay.
Yes, that is completely true. And here in California, it can take upwards of 6 to 9 months to get the eviction process going. And then they still have 3 days to pay or quit, and then a 30-day eviction after that. So they can pretty much make it a full year rent free and destroy the place with no consequence.
It's a big can of worms that, again, I just, when they come out and say this, how you don't have more legal personnel or, professionals who have dealt with that situation on a daily basis for calls for service, why it's not shut down. That always baffles me that doesn't get done right away. But again, it's kind of where we're at in our society right now. You have to become a victim before you find out what your legal rights are.
Yeah. We do have Rosa in the comments section. Maybe some of you guys don't know about her, but Rosa, do you mind sending a request, please? I would like to talk to you. I've been looking for you, actually.
Yeah, I could drop.
What was that?
I can drop. We can all.
It's okay. Wait, she hasn't sent the request. I'm not sure she's able to join the panel, but she's in the comment section. Rosa, I do have a couple of questions for you. If you want to join, please, that would be great. But yeah, if she doesn't, that's okay too. So yeah, I mean, this is it's just getting out of hand. I mean, I don't know. Do any of you think that we are going to see some form of 9/11 because of what's happening now at some point in the future?
Yeah,
do you think that would be the end result? That's my question.
Yeah,
I think it would be a factor.
There's already been a video of that Muslim extremist from Azerbaijan who was released from prison after 12 years on January, I believe it was 14th of 2023, that just crossed our border and gave an open threat. It's that one where that Muslim guy says, you guys are all going to see what happens.
You're going to know who
I actually posted that video on my platform. So wait, he was identified, that guy?
Yeah, they actually identified him. I can't remember his name, but it's all over TikTok. TikTokers found him. He was arrested in Azerbaijan.
Really? I didn't know that he was identified. Wow.
And he said,
"Yeah, I don't think the government has, because their wheels don't turn that quick, but
wow,
citizens have."
I think Rosa does want to join. Does anyone want to volunteer to drop? You can come back, by the way.
I will. I'll drop.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna invite her now. I do have a question for who's going to drop. I'll drop you. Who is it? Okay, Kimberly dropped, I think, or Mima, I think it was. Okay, all right. Let me invite her. Did she send a request? Let me see here. Hold on one second. Okay, Rosa. Rosa, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining. So just real quick, a little background here. So a few months ago, I was interviewing a couple of migrants, and it was like maybe a week apart. They turned out to be family to each other. It was like cousins or something, and different stories, but similar way of entering the country. And Rosa in the comment section there, and she joined the panel actually in that live. And these migrants were Venezuelans. By the way, I'm Venezuelan American, and Rosa is also Venezuelan American. And so these migrants were sharing their stories, and I was asking them respectfully about how they entered and all that good stuff. And Rosa took offense to the interview, and she said that I was putting the Venezuelan people in a bad light, and I was, putting the immigrants in a bad light, and all this stuff. And so she was even telling this migrant, the girl, to get off the live because I was making her case look bad, her asylum case. And so that happened then. And I remember, Rosa, that you were very vocal about that. And we had that exchange back then. And you were defending this migrant. I believe her name is Evelyn. Do you recall that, right, Rosa, that you were part of that live?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so again, that happened months ago. However, a lot of people in the comment section were very active about this. Thank you, Kimberly. And they were not too happy about what Rosa was saying, but neither was I. But I respect people's opinions, and so we left it at that. And this migrant that I'm talking about, this girl Evelyn, she is the complete personification of entitlement. Okay, the ones that you see complaining, the ones that you see dancing on TikTok and showing up their iPhones or whatever, that's her, right? Complete abuse of the system. Absolutely, like hands down. That's who she is, or she shows us that she is. And so Amelia remembers her in the comment section. And so the reason why I was looking for Rosa is because somebody that was part of that live actually came across a video of Evelyn's live where Rosa was in the comment section and Evelyn was actually insulting Rosa. And I believe her friends in that live was also insulting Rosa. And then someone sent me the screenshot, I think, where Rosa said, "You guys are a shame to the Venezuelan community." Rosa, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw that
Yes, I
footage. Is that
did.
true?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
I
what
went
happened,
back
Rosa?
and
Because
I
you were
went
defending them and then you were fighting with them at the end. Please explain to me what happened
be,
there,
because I follow her. So,
right?
I wanted to, I love to, if it's my people, I
Mm-hmm.
love to give it, you know, help them, giving advice. I bring all my family.
Mm-hmm.
All my family came 3 years ago because
Thank you,
all the
Mima.
problems. My family have business now, their own companies, they have
Mm-hmm.
houses, and they have asylum, right? So I'm thinking all the people is like my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I follow her and I'm like, you're supposed to work hard and if you work hard, you can, but my brother doesn't have, we go into asylum. My brother have a big house, brand new. He have his own business now,
Mm-hmm.
and you know. So I follow her in that, and then she
What
brought a
happened?
lot of
Because you
people.
were
She
defending her.
brought a
So
lot of
what
people. Yeah.
happened? How did you guys turn on each other? What happened there?
So she brought a lot of people into the discussion, and the
Right?
people were talking with bad words. A lot of
Okay.
bad
They were being
words.
obscene.
Yeah, like
Okay.
really, really. I mean, I came from the barrios. I came from the hood,
Right?
right, from Venezuela.
Right.
And even though you came from the hood, you
Yeah.
don't have to speak like that. You don't have to behave like that because
Right.
you come to our country to be better. For
Right.
that, you stay in your country, right? So
Right.
I was talking to them and they are saying all these words and all this stuff. So I say, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot believe it that I fight for you guys and you
Mm-hmm.
guys are disgrace to our race. No
Mm-hmm.
wonder why people see us that way. Because Venezuelan people is very educated and have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
schools. We have free education. All the people here in Texas that are Venezuela, they're engineers. I work in the oil company. We all Venezuela. We all have money. They all have money. Okay. And when I saw those in New York, and I'm like, why are you guys doing that? And now I'm with you because not
Now
all
you're
of
with
us
me.
are good, right?
Got it.
Not
Yeah,
all of
and the
us
reason why I
came
was
for
looking for
work.
you because someone showed me that footage where they were cursing you out. By the way, the things they were telling you in that live, Rosa,
Oh
I have the
yeah.
video. I have the video. I was like, I was about to post it because I was like, "Where's Rosa? Please, someone bring her to my live again." I was like, "Wow!" And the reason is because I was so upset about what you did in my life because you ruined my interview with her. So when I was interviewing her, she was open, guys. I was being respectful, by the way. I don't respect what this girl did to come into the country. But I was asking her respectful questions because I didn't want her to leave. I wanted her to give me all the answers. And so she was open. She was telling me how she did this, she did that. Her asylum case was non existent, pretty much. There was no asylum case there, but she was very open. Rosa joined the live and she was in the comment section telling her, get off the live. They're using you. Get off, get off, get off. And then my guest completely changed her tone and she was not being honest anymore because Rosa was giving her warnings. And then Rosa joined the live because I let her join the panel because I was so upset. And then it was a whole mess after that. So it was like two Evelyns, the real Evelyn that showed us who she really is, and then the fake one because she got a warning from Rosa and other of her friends too that were probably in that live that she's talking about. So I was really upset because I had this nice interview. And by the way, this interview is on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's Talking to a Migrant. I believe it's episode 7. And then subsequently, episode 10, Rosa also joined that other live with the other migrant. And I was just like, why? Like, why are you not seeing the reality that not all Venezuelan people are good? Just because you're Venezuelan doesn't mean that all Venezuelans are good. I mean, that's just same for Americans, same for Africans. It's just same for everybody. We have to be realistic and be able to call out the things that are real, you know? And so, like, when someone sent me that video, Rosa, that they were cursing you out, I was like, wow. I was like, because the things you were telling them in the comment section is exactly what I've been saying on my platforms. The same thing. You were using the same language.
Yeah,
So I
it
was
broke
in
my
shock
heart.
to
It broke my
writing
heart.
that.
It shocked me. I said, I fight for you, you know, because I didn't want you to get in trouble for your asylum because anything that you say in your asylum can be against you. And I tried to
Yeah,
protect it, but when I follow her and follow what she does, it's embarrassing to this country because we're supposed
exactly.
to come to this country to respect and to work like I did 20,
Exactly.
you know, 30 years ago. And like my
So,
family is coming
but
to
that's why
work
I'm
hard
calling
and
them
to do
out,
the
Rosa.
right
That's
thing.
exactly why I'm calling them out because they don't represent hardworking immigrants and hardworking Venezuelans or immigrants in general. You know, take out the Venezuelan aspect of it because it's not just Venezuelans coming here. They don't represent. They're taking advantage of the system, and they come with that behavior, like you said. The things that she says on her live streams, guys, I can't even translate them. They're so disgusting. The things that her and her friends talk about openly is just mind blowing.
Well,
Mind blowing. I have some of those videos, by the way, but I've thought about it. I was like, I don't think I even want to post this on my channel because, you know, I do I do some of these report on some of these migrant videos. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to post this because it's so vile.
that
It's completely mind blowing. Go ahead, Don.
that would probably paint the culture in a bad light, to be honest. And that goes back to the community abusing the community. Some of them that are coming in, they're taking advantage of their own community. They want freebies, and they're violent or verbally abusive for whatever they're receiving. It's they're not assimilating to the American culture. get the American way, go out, get that house, get that job, that business, provide for your
Yeah.
family. They don't want that.
Yeah, but to me, it was like the aha moment. You understand? Because Rosa and
Yeah.
I had that back and forth during that live, and she was coming after me instead of coming after her. That she was abusing the system, and I was like, "Why are you doing that, Rosa?" Like I was like, "Why? Like you're not seeing what this girl is all about." So when I saw that exchange that Rosa and her had on that live, to me it was like that big aha moment. You know what I mean? It was like, now
Yeah,
you opened your eyes.
that's completely terrible that she had to go through that. And, God bless you for sticking up for them. But that just shows some of the abuse. She thought she was doing something that was right, and they turned on her.
Yeah. But Rosa, but I feel like you're still a little bit protective of them. Like, are you okay with them coming in with not valid asylum cases?
Well, I, as an immigrant, I didn't have a case. I came with my visa. I overstayed. I stayed illegal because I
Yeah.
wanted a better future.
Yeah, no,
So if
but
anybody
Rosa,
who
but
wants to
when you
come,
got your visa, you were vetted, correct?
when I got my visa, it was just a tourist visa,
Right.
and I
You
just
get vetted for
overstayed.
that.
Right, right.
Right. You didn't just
And
go to a shelter when you got here because
no,
someone was your sponsor, right?
no, no. I came 15 years old. I worked by myself. My
Hmm.
sister was 18 and I was 15, and I worked since 15 years old. And
No, but I'm
every
saying when you came to the country, who took you in?
nobody, just my sister. My sister came first by herself at 18, and
Right?
then she brought me here.
Right. So when you
My
came, you went
sister.
to your sister's apartment.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like she took you in. You didn't just come here and just were on the streets. That's the
Oh no, no, no.
difference.
Yeah.
So that's the difference that we have now. So you can't compare yourself because I came with a visa too. My family too. I mean, even people that I'm sponsoring right now, they're coming with a visa as well because that's how the process is. But we have to prove our background checks, our financial status, and our sponsor, right? And that's just
Right.
how it is. So, but are you okay with them coming here with a fraudulent asylum case?
No, I'm not okay with that. I
Okay,
mean,
just because I feel like
yeah,
you were
yeah,
defending
yeah.
that, because when she was telling me her story, we all could tell that her asylum case was completely not going to be valid. The case that she was saying it was complete. First of all, when she started the interview and I asked her, "Why are you here?" She didn't mention anything about asylum. She said the reason she was here was because of her son originally, or her daughter, whatever, one of those. And then after you spoke to her, then she started speaking about her asylum case and persecution, which was by a family member, not even the government. And then, so that's why I wanted to know if you're still okay with that. That some people come here seeking asylum and they don't really have asylum. Like it doesn't go with the asylum laws. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't agree with it. I mean, that's how, right now when you have the TPS, temporary protection, right now, it doesn't matter
But
if you
that's
have
no
asylum
longer
or not,
though.
but that's until August 2025.
Right, but
It's
but that's
approved.
that's for renewal, that's not for new
Yeah,
applicants.
no, not for new applicants. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So,
But you're saying that your family came here also on asylum or
yeah, some
visa?
of them came in an asylum and some of them, they came, you know,
So did they
with
come through the
visa.
border as well?
No, they came through, they have visas.
Yeah,
So,
okay, so they
and
apply
I
over there.
sponsor, and I sponsor people.
And you
I sponsor.
sponsored. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
yeah. But
Got
I
it.
think I think everybody is like my family. That's why I kind of fight with you. I'm like, what about the people who all my family have business now? We all have
Yeah.
business, house, and we live in a good area.
Right.
We so everybody on my family is like ready. They've been here for like 2 years and they have houses, car, business, everything.
Right.
So when I
So
saw the people,
you thought is that we're all the same, like you
exactly.
and your
Yes.
family.
Yes.
Okay. And this was eye opening for you, and I'm glad because we have a lot of people in the Latino community that have that mentality that think that it's like my family. No, no, guys, trust me. The amount of people that are coming, it's not like your family. It is not. You guys need to open your eyes and see the reality. It's a sad reality, but it's the truth, and it hurts, you know. And it is also sort of embarrassing too, because I'm Venezuelan American, and when they say, "Oh, this Venezuelan did this Venezuelan did that," I'm like, "Oh, like it makes you look bad to a certain degree." It's not like it's my people because I don't live with them. I'm not related to them. But I can see where some people want to protect that, but we can't. I mean, we have to call it out for what it is. The same goes. I mean, the same thing happens to white people too. They do the same thing when someone does a crime or something. They call it out, right?
Yeah.
Black people do it too. I mean, we should all do it. We should stop with this nonsense of the race thing and race that. It's just an individual did that, and you got to call it out, regardless of what it is. And so we should just stop being blinded by this. Oh, he's that's my people. No, that's not your people. Your people, it's in your house. Your loved ones, your spouse, your brother, whatever. That's your people. Those are not my people. I don't own them. I have no relationship to them whatsoever.
Character
Anyway,
is character. You go by their character.
exactly. Character. Yep. Yep. Anyway, guys, I am over time, and I did wanted to have the conversation with Rosa. Thank you so much, Rosa. Maybe I'll bring you back, Rosa, so we can talk more about this. I
Okay,
feel
you
like
also have a good night.
yeah, I feel like your experience was like really eye opening for you, and a lot of people can really get a lot from what you experienced. I do want to thank everyone that joined the panel, the open mic episode here tonight. Everyone in the comment section, those that subscribed, send gifts. Guys, it allows me to spend more time on these platforms. Thank you, TKO. And again, if you're not able to send gifts, I respect that. That's okay. Please subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on TikTok. Tap the likes, share the videos. It helps the algorithm and helps my channel grow as well. Thank you, Tay, for that as well. Tomorrow, thank you, KB. Tomorrow, guys, I have a special guest. She is the mother of Kayla Hamilton, the victim that was unalived by a migrant / MS-13 gang member, allegedly. Okay, allegedly. So she was in Congress last week. She will be with me tomorrow. My bad. That was my Alexa speaking there. Yeah. So tomorrow I'll be talking to Kayla Hamilton's mother, and it's my honor to have her here and share that story with us. And you're very welcome to ask her questions as well. Probably only in the comment section, though. I don't want to have this back and forth with her with other people that I know you guys, those that joined the panel, but maybe others could be disrespectful, and I don't want to do that. So it might be just me and her on the panel, but you guys can ask your questions in the comment section. Portia's asking at what time. It would be around 5:15 p.m. Pacific, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Kayla Hamilton's mother. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mima, once again. I really appreciate you guys.
Yep,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Alan.
everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
And I will see you tomorrow.
Good night.